What's going on, everybody? This is Maximilian, and it's been a while since I posted up my last video, but I'm making up for lost time here with a super duper ultra mega long 20-minute-ish video, which is a little unfortunate, but sadly there was really no good way to split this up, because otherwise we'd have two really short videos, and there wouldn't be a whole lot going on in either of them, and there was no really good stopping point for me to just cut it off in the middle of all this. So basically, we're just taking our first few steps into Kanto, and it involved a lot more trainers than I initially expected. So, yeah, it took me a little while than I initially anticipated, but that's okay. You're going to need to have some Pokemon who knows Waterfall, so get out your little, your HM machine thingy, whatever, your little random Pokemon that you just use as a pincushion for all those utility moves that you happen to only need once in the game, and then get over the Waterfall and you're good to go. So, I completely forgot my HM Gyarados back in my Pokemon box, so had to go back and pick it up and teach it Waterfall after I forgot another move, and you know the drill. So that's essentially it. Once you get into Kanto, though, it's a fairly straightforward path. I think there's only really one way you can actually go, and that is to Victory Road. Now, there's quite a few trainers along the way, so make sure you do have at least a couple of items. Although there is a random person's house along the way that if you go into, she'll be like, oh, you look tired, have a rest or something. And you'll get basically a free Pokemon Center is what it amounts to. So it's kind of nice, but I wouldn't rely on it entirely. So if you guys do happen to go over there and you want to fight everybody that's in the way, which you may in fact have to, I'm not entirely sure, stock up on some items, just be prepared. Because these trainers are pushovers. They actually do have Pokemon that are somewhat on par with you, like who can actually compete with your party. So I would recommend that you guys actually be prepared. Now, after this, we just have to go through Victory Road, and then it's on to the Elite Four. However, you'll notice I still don't quite have an Umbreon yet. We are so very, very close. I cannot tell you how close we are. It's just a matter of me getting a haircut every day and hoping that it's enough to push it over the threshold. I'm continuously trying to do it. I still have not gotten there yet. But man, we are close. So don't worry, we will have an Umbreon before the Elite Four. It's just a matter of, when. After we get the Umbreon, I may do a little bit more level grinding because I don't think a party that averages in the mid to upper 30s for level will be nearly enough to actually get through the Elite Four. At least with a reasonable bit of a margin, if you can call a margin in Pokemon, but you know what I'm talking about. I don't want this to be too incredibly difficult and just like barely skate by the Elite Four because, we can do better than that. So I'm going to try and level grind these Pokemon a little bit more. Hopefully find a good spot somewhere in Kanto. Maybe Victory Road will be a good way to go. But we're not quite ready yet. We're close, but we're not quite there. And then after the Elite Four, I believe it just directly opens up the Kanto region, and you can just go ahead and hop into Viridian or Pallet, or whichever city happens to be directly connected to that building. They structured it a little bit differently because of the addition of the Johto region, but I can't remember off the top of my head exactly how they structured it. Hopefully we go straight into Viridian City, because there really is nothing to do in Pallet Town. So, yeah, go straight into Viridian, and we'll have some fun with the gym leaders in the Kanto region. Ooh, yeah. And then once we complete the Elite Four, we'll have a completely different poll for the red battle. He's basically like the Elite Four 2.0, except it's just one trainer. So after this party has been taken care of and we have finished with the Elite Four, I will go ahead and start another poll with the first gym leader, which would be Brock, I believe. And you guys will go ahead and vote for the next party that we're going to use. Now, I believe that when I asked you guys before whether or not you wanted a partial party or a completely different party, I think you guys opted for the side of, completely different. So that's what we're going to try to shoot for, although I'm going to be very, very tempted to squeeze Lugia in there anyway. But, yeah. I don't know, maybe I'll oblige and just let it slide this one time. But, I don't know, man, it's Lugia. It's Lugia. It is Silver. It's the trademark Pokemon of this whole game. I don't know if I could see myself just leaving it out there. You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So, I will go ahead and leave that up to you guys later. Maybe we'll just have a poll going on, and then I'll just kind of ask, intermittently, would you guys rather have Lugia in the party or not? Actually, you can go ahead and leave a comment right now. That'd be a good thing to comment on in this video. Do you guys want to keep Lugia over into the second party where we go and fight Red? Please say yes. I mean, in theory, you don't have to, because, I know my subscribers, and you guys voted in Lapras just for giggles on last time I did my red walkthrough. I know you're more than fully capable of leaving Lugia out of the party, but I'm just saying, I would love to have it in there. So if you guys might be able to work something out there, that'd be awesome. So, please leave Lugia in the party for my sake. And for our sake in general, because Lugia is an awesome Pokemon, and you need all the firepower you can get against Red, because he is tough. Now that we're in Kanto, there's a couple of things we have to take care of besides gym leaders. There's a few other Pokemon that you can catch in Kanto that you normally could not get in the Johto region. I may grab a couple of those because, well, number one, I may have to get some if there's a change in the party. That's just bound to happen because there's going to be all kinds of different Pokemon that we're using now. Now that my party will be completely wiped, maybe or maybe not sans Lugia, but we're going to have new Pokemon, and they may be some that you can only catch in the Kanto region. I know that Tyranitar was one of the big ones in the previous poll. Unfortunately, there's no way to catch it prior to the Elite Four in the Johto region. Basically, the only place you can get it at is Mount Silver, and I know I kind of considered the idea of glitching into Tyranitar, but then you actually have to consider, well, that's not entirely possible either, because that also requires Pokemon in like the levels 50s-ish, so it's probably not going to happen. I just basically said, we'll go ahead and recycle that one. We'll keep all the votes from the previous poll, but then we'll just go ahead and use it for the red battle. We will definitely be able to have a Tyranitar for the red battle. It's just a matter of how quickly can we get a Larvitar and start raising it, because there's only a few places where you can catch it, and I'm pretty sure they are in the later parts of Kanto. And there are also other cool Pokemon in Kanto too, like there's the Houndour, which can evolve into Houndoom, which is an excellent Pokemon. Not just because of the fact that it's a Dark-type Pokemon, but the Fire-type moves for it are actually pretty good. So maybe that's one for you guys to consider. I'm not entirely sure what else we're going to get here, well, other than Ho-Oh, because, come on, that's a given. If the game's going to throw a level 70 legendary Pokemon at you, you're just going to take it, because, it's a level 70 Pokemon. You're going to need that against Red, considering that his party averages somewhere around the high 70s in level. Yeah, his party's dumb. So, we're going to have to level grind everybody a ton to be able to fight him. I think I managed to pull it off once when I first played Silver, but that was before I actually started, meticulously raising my party with a perfect balance on level, just raising them evenly. So I had a really lopsided party, where basically half of them did nothing against Red, and the other half of the party just kind of had to work it out all of them on their own, because I think I had a level 85 Typhlosion, because that was basically the only one I ever raised. This was back in the day where I just dumped all my resources into raising that one Pokemon and just left my party to rot. I think Lugia may have been in the 60s and Ho-Oh was still in the 70s, but other than those three, I basically just had a bunch of random level 40 Pokemon that I caught in Mount Silver, and it was, well, they were worthless. So I'm going to attempt to avoid that, although it may mean that we're going to have Pokemon at slightly lower levels than Reds, because, getting to level 70 in a game where you can't exactly cheat with rare candies is kind of hard. But, that's what the challenge is for, right? Makes it a little bit of an interesting addition to the game. And then after that, well, we're going to catch a ton of Pokemon. But that's going to take a long time. That's way off in the future. We won't worry about that quite yet. So, seeing as how this Kanto region is slightly different than the one in Red and Blue games, I'm not entirely certain what we're going to be able to run into and what we're not going to be able to run into here. So if you guys have any sites you want to see or events that I should probably take care of, leave me a note in any of these videos. Leave me a comment, because I'd rather not miss anything in here. I'm going to try and brush up on my second generation Kanto knowledge before I record these gameplays, but that doesn't mean that I'm prone to error, so yeah, or it doesn't mean I'm not prone to error, you know what I'm saying. I can always make mistakes, we all make mistakes, so go ahead and leave a comment on my video, and let me know what you'd like me to get while I'm in Kanto. Because I would prefer to complete this as much as possible. We may not be able to complete it entirely, but I'm going to try my best. And there may be one of these days where I just decide to skip back into the Johto region and grab myself some of the legendary beasts, because I'm almost certain at some point, at least one of those is going to end up in the red poll. So I'm going to maybe just take an entire episode or two just solely dedicated to actually finding one and catching one. Because now that we have Master Balls and the box glitch available to us, makes this a lot easier. It's just a matter of actually finding them, which is a tedious process in and of itself. Although at the same time, it has to be done at some point because, I mean, come on, this is a silver walkthrough. You can't complete a silver walkthrough without having caught Entei, Suicune, and Raikou. You know what I'm saying. So, I'm going to go ahead and take care of those at some point. Maybe not immediately, but I would like to do it before we go to Red. Preferably some point not too distant in the future. Maybe after the first couple of gym leaders I'll go back and do it because I still want to have time to level grind them. That's going to be quite important on our route to fighting Red as well as the other gym leaders, because believe it or not, the Kanto gym leaders are actually really good in this game. Now that they've had all this time to raise their Pokemon to ridiculous levels, and now that all of them have like 5+ Pokemon, you actually have to try. So I'm going to raise my party a lot more while we're in the Kanto region, and I'm also going to be seeking some higher level, stronger Pokemon while I'm in the Kanto region as well. I may not use this same party for the first couple of gym leaders. That'd be up to you guys. Like, if you want to see me use the Elite Four party for the other gym leaders and just gradually build into the Red Pole party, I could do that. Or I could try essentially starting from scratch, quote unquote, and just kind of shaking things up a bit, trying to vary the party a lot more. That'd be up to you guys. Although, considering we don't have too many other Pokemon in the box right now that are actually high enough level to compete with the gym leaders in the Kanto region, we may just have to make this a slow transition. That probably would be ideal, although I know you guys do like to see variety, so I'm going to try and cater to that. It's just going to be a matter of how much patience do I have with level grinding the party, keeping everybody up to date, and actually going out and finding Pokemon that you people want to see me fight the gym leaders with. It's essentially what it boils down to. Now, I've actually started back in college this last week. I've kind of got a feel for my schedule. I'm thinking I'm probably going to have a fairly decent amount of time on the weekends, or free time on the weekends, that is, to do some random gameplay stuff. And this is assuming that I don't go out of town, of course, because there will be times when I leave town to go to either Columbia or St. Louis, and I'll just be out of town for the weekend, and I'll have none of my stuff with me. But I'm thinking what I want to do sometime within the next week is put up some sort of Xbox gameplay video, because I really want to get a feel for the quality test of my PVR. I want to get some render settings taken care of so that way in the future I don't have to tinker with these. Just basically kind of like a quality test, but at the same time I want to actually put up a video that means something, not just a random 8-second quality test, because really nobody cares about that at all. No one wants to watch that. So let me know what you guys would like to see. Maybe I could do a random zombies live comm. I could put up some semi-mediocre / okay or good Modern Warfare Black Ops gameplay. I just want to put something up to test out the quality of my Xbox and my PVR recording. So leave a comment and let me know what you guys would like to see, and I'll try and put that up within the next week. It'll be a bit of a break from Pokemon, but I want to get a feel for my new rendering software and my new rendering equipment, for that matter. So why don't you help me out here? Let me know what you guys would like to see. I think I have maybe 1 or 2 Modern Warfare 2 gameplays recorded, but they're basically mediocre at best. They're nothing spectacular. I have been getting my edge back for Call of Duty because I haven't played it in literally 4 months. I have not touched the game, but I'm slowly getting my sea legs back, so to speak. It's the feel. I'm getting that feel back. There's something about Call of Duty because it's such a fast-paced shooter. You really have to get a feel for how the game's going and the pace of the game and how to play it properly. Because when I first picked up a controller after 4 months of not playing it, I just sucked. I couldn't do anything. Couldn't get a kill to save my life, and I was constantly dying. So I'm slowly getting back into good habits, trying to get back to my old play style, and it's progressing. It's progressing nicely, but then again, I should reinforce the fact that I am absolutely by no means a spectacular gamer. I'm good enough to hold my own. I can do well in games. It's just that I'm not just godlike ridiculous on a consistent basis. Like X-Jaws and company. You get the idea. So just keep that in mind, that if I do ever post any Call of Duty videos, they're not going to be retarded ridiculous. But at least they'll be interesting. That's what I'm going to try and go for. It's just to keep them interesting. That's just my opinion on the matter. I do have a couple of other Xbox games where I'm not entirely sure if any of you guys would be interested in them. I was considering doing Tales of Vesperia for my next walkthrough, although it seems that the vast majority of you would like to see another Pokemon game, so I'll probably oblige and just go ahead and record another one. Although, if any of you haven't played or have played the Tales series before, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. They're, for the most part, a very similar genre. It's just a matter of what console you're playing on. Variances in the storyline, obviously, because if you played the same storyline for every single Tales game, like, what would be the point? Vesperia is actually really good. I've played Symphony of Vesperia and the Tales of the Abyss, and I'm currently working on finding someone who has a copy of Tales of Symphonia 2 so I can play that. I would like to complete that one, but so far, Symphonia has been my favorite. Maybe it was because it was the first one I played, but I mean, that game was really good. The storyline was absolutely incredible, albeit a bit cliche, and it was so much fun to play. I love the characters, I love the battle style. Everything about it was just awesome. And Vesperia was really good, too. It just couldn't quite hit that niche value of Symphonia, and I'm guessing it's because I played Symphonia first. That's probably why. Although, the general consensus seems to be that Symphonia was the best of the Tales series, so I don't know, maybe it's something beyond niche, but I can't quite think of it. So if you guys want to see Tales of the Abyss walkthrough, not Tales of the Abyss, sorry, Tales of Vesperia, and it would be a long walkthrough. I'm going to go ahead and get that out of the way right now. It's going to be a long walkthrough. Probably twice as long as this silver walkthrough would be, so it would take a while before I actually moved on to something else like another Pokemon game. Leave a comment and let me know if you'd like to see it. Otherwise, I may do another Pokemon walkthrough. My only concern with doing another one is I probably have mentioned it before, but once you get into 3rd generation and 4th generation, they really hold absolutely no niche value for me, which kind of makes sense because, I mean, they're newer games. They're after I stopped playing. It was kind of in that period where I didn't care about Pokemon at all. And they're just, in my opinion, they're just not as good. I have played them before. I haven't played the 4th generation. I haven't played Diamond or Pearl yet. But I have played Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. And I was just not impressed. They were updated with graphics and all, which is kind of nice. They had a new set of Pokemon, which I didn't really care for because they all just look like a bunch of robots with random limbs and appendages coming out of them in various color formats. But that's basically it. There was little new things to the game that actually appealed to me. I didn't care for any of the new dynamics. I didn't care for the plot line, so to speak. There's just nothing about it that appealed to me. I didn't really enjoy it. It just ended way too fast. That and doing a complete catch-em-all on a 3rd or 4th generation game is impossible, considering that they've fixed all the glitches at this point. Number 1, I can't trade. Number 2, and number 3, there's umpteen more Pokemon to catch in every game, which means the Pokedex is that much harder to finish. You get the idea. So that would be my concern about playing a 3rd generation game. I guess I could do it in the end if you guys would like to see it. Although it would be a bit of a chore for me because part of the thing is I want to do something that you guys would enjoy watching because that is the point of this channel. However, at the same time, I don't want to do anything that I necessarily wouldn't enjoy because then I'm not motivated to actually put out content for you guys. So I'm worried that I might run into some kind of a poke block, so to speak, if I were to do a 3rd or 4th generation game. It's just something for you guys to think about. Let me know what your thoughts are on that, because I'd like to get someone else's opinion. Maybe that's just me being selfish, but that's just the way I feel about it. I'm not too concerned about, or rather, I don't really care too much about the 3rd, 4th generation games. So I'm concerned that I may just end up casting it to the wind and then stalling on putting content up on my channel for a while, and I really don't want that to happen. So I would prefer to do something I enjoyed. However, I also want to do something that you guys enjoy, so I'm trying to find that perfect medium between us. Any kind of suggestions for walkthroughs are also welcome. I've gotten a lot of feedback from subscribers on this. I'm taking all these considerations into account, but I'm also trying to take into account, feasibility of either playing this on an emulator or on a console that I currently own with the recording equipment that I have available. So just keep suggesting games. Eventually, one will be like, yes, perfect, got it. And I'll run it by you guys, and I'll have you tell me what you guys think. of course, because I don't want to just start a walkthrough that nobody's going to care about or watch. So that's the situation right now with my channel. However, we still have half a silver walkthrough to go through, so that would be in the well-distant future. It's not going to be for a couple months at the very least. But in the meantime, I'm going to try to put up a Call of Duty video or two. Let me know what you guys think about it. This is essentially more than anything just to test out my Xbox recording equipment and, yeah, just to get a feel for it. Because I'm not really sure if I'm planning on doing Call of Duty in the long run. I probably won't. Like, it's just one thing where the community is actually really dominated right now by well-known entities, well-known figures, people who have been in this much longer than I have. People are much better at the game than I have. So I don't think it would be such a wise decision to try and introduce myself into this community right now. Or probably for that matter at any point. I mean, I guess I could do it at Modern Warfare 3, but I'm just not sure if that would be the thing for me. So that was the end of this commentary. Long video, really long video. Thanks for watching the whole way. If you actually managed to stick around the entire time, I will be putting up another video shortly. See you guys then.